This week on The Droids, we're talking about Mando Mondays. We're getting close to The Mandalorian, and there's a new special edition of figures, toys, apparel, all coming out every Monday during The Mandalorian. Razor Crest behind the scenes, a little bit of action of what we see of how that's all been made into an actual model, High Republic news, and oh so much more. The Droids are all here for this week's edition of The Droids. Welcome back to The Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast. Alongside Ryan, Chris, and Sam, I am Mike, back to talk about some of the news that we're finding out here as we get into the build-up. Only a few more weeks to The Mandalorian. Are you guys on your rewatch? Where are you now? Did you just spend some time with good old Cannon Valley like I did this weekend?
Wow. I actually was, so, like, spoiler, I guess, we're going to talk about this this Razor Crest mini documentary as they call it from ILM.
Oh my god!
that I watched, and it made me want to watch the series again. And wow. I think I'm on record on the pod as saying I don't rewatch TV. I'm not like I'm not somebody who goes back and revisits series. I've never rewatched a TV series before, and I kind of always assumed, like, part of me lamented the whole move of Star Wars into Disney Plus TV series because I was like, I love rewatching Star Wars, and I'm not.
Sam, it took you a year and a half to rewatch The Last Jedi. What are you talking about? You're not rewatching movies either.
That is a different
Sam,
scenario.
Are you just gonna take that?
Ooh, throw down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry to you especially, and to the listeners. I owe you an apology.
You've held this inside you for this long?
What I am saying is
guys,
that
the counselor said that we should communicate openly.
Yes, it's true.
What's our safe word?
You guys.
The Jedi counselor.
We got the same counselor that Metallica had in that documentary. Kind of podster.
I was going to go out on a limb and think that was the name of the documentary. I could not remember the name of it. That's good.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is this mini documentary. It's called some kind of manster. I watched it. We'll talk about it. But it really made me want to go back and rewatch. And since they're such short, like mostly delightful episodes, I'm excited to do so. Wow. I am going to try and rewatch.
Well, I think that's the best point, though, Sam. Is they're very short. You can get through it very quickly.
Yeah, that's an afternoon. Put it on during work. That's what I do.
How many members of your team listen to this podcast, Chris?
Thanks for listening, folks.
Hey, it's a different world now.
Yeah, you're allowed to watch TV during work.
Who's going to say no?
If you're not getting in a little bit of Star Wars content every day, I mean, what are you doing, even during your work hours?
What is the point?
I play at least one Star Wars theme on my clarinet every day.
Ryan's been practicing his jizz scales every day during work.
Oh, man.
I was first chair. That's not a joke. And it says a lot about me that I need people to know that still.
Which, by the way, what kind of band could we put together from this podcast? I was first chair trombone. You got a clarinet there. Chris, Sam.
You're talking to a first chair trumpet.
Oh, well,
all right, so we got a ska
Sam.
band so far.
I played piano for 8 years.
Wow.
And I can play a little guitar.
Real big droids. There you go.
I mean, I didn't hear a first chair in that one for Sam. Did anybody else miss that part? I heard first chair for the other three.
Yeah, wait a second. What chair was that?
I think for 1 year, I was in concert band, and I played the snare drum or something. The snare, it was the snare.
That wasn't amongst any of the instruments that you mentioned.
No, so I also play snare drum.
Wow. So you chose.
I played the clarinet and the bassoon, which is easily transposed into a saxophone. So we legitimately have a ska band.
Wow.
I love it. Let's do it.
Real
I
big.
think we could record.
had to knock on
We're real big that fish. We're real big. There's always a bigger fish.
Real bigger
I have to
fish.
say, I think anyone listening to this podcast could put the odds on that 4 guys who love Star Wars in high school were also in
played
band.
it. Oh, I'll one up you.
But they could have never guessed that we were first chair. Less than
Hey.
Jakku. Less than Jakku. Nice.
first
Did it.
first chair drum major. So there you go.
Ooh, all right.
I was
multiple
first chair
first chairs.
district. I just want to say,
Wow.
and it was a big
Wow.
district. It was a
Sam,
big district.
I like that Sam chose to take the first chair and kind of equalize it by playing many different instruments mediocrely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sam was the one calling us nerds and kissing our girlfriends at parties.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm a jack
game.
of all instruments,
Yeah.
master of none.
There you go.
Fellas, I played at Disney World.
Hey,
let's
hey.
just
Did
put it
you
out.
Hey,
in the
Mike.
parade?
Oh
Mike?
no, in the what was it? Ray's
You
famous
were
cafe.
you were
where
Aladdin.
No, we came out of the basement, so we got
I-
going to the underground tubes.
I too have done that parade.
Underground tubes.
No, we weren't in a parade.
Oh,
You
I was
did
in a parade in Disney.
For marching band, right?
Yeah, for
Chris?
marching band. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
We were the-
you're
we
telling
were the
me
jazz
that
band.
50% of our podcast has performed at Disney World?
Oh, yeah.
That's true. It's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we'll make
And
it
they
100%.
didn't invite us to the opening.
My father was chosen as the audience volunteer in the Hoop-de-Doo review when we went to Disney World.
So that gets you there. All right, with 3. Sam, you got any connections? Did you have an indie performer in the Indiana Jones experience?
I went to Disney World once, I think, when I was like 6. I don't really remember much. I didn't like rides, so I didn't do the rides.
I was pulled out of the audience in the Indiana Jones one to play the boulder.
Also, not surprising many Star Wars fans.
Wait,
What, did I play the boulder?
No,
I
just
didn't know where Sam was going with that.
I'm just saying we're like boring rock monsters who live in basements.
Oh boy.
I mean, I am recording this in a basement.
Oh boy.
Well, let's get to the
I'm
news.
recording
Hey,
it in,
I
my
feel
wife
like
is in the
I
next
feel like
room, okay?
I feel like I leaned in. I went for a thing that I thought that I
Do you know
thought
what
we
it
were
was,
all
though,
doing.
Sam? You know what it
and
was?
And now I just feel like I've insulted the pod, insulted Ryan. I've evidently insulted Mike.
It was the first chair thing, honestly,
Last-
Sam. I think that it's like you were establishing that you were like the cool one. Like you didn't need that. So when you started legitimately bullying us on the podcast, it felt
Also,
different.
I just want to say that last week's pod was really great. I don't know what there was something we did something different. I don't know what it was, but I really liked last week's episode.
Something different. I don't know.
I don't
What
I
could it
don't
have been?
I don't know what it was. It felt I don't know, it just felt like right.
I don't know. Maybe when I have time to listen, I'll see if I can spot it.
Well, let's talk
Was the
about
brag
Mando
there that
Mondays.
you're busy?
Also, if
Yeah, and
If
I'm
I
also
could-
trapped inside in a
if
pandemic.
I were able to, I would be doing this from a basement. So just let's make that clear.
Yeah, I can't
yeah.
afford a basement.
Yeah, basement.
Wait, I
would
do
be
have a basement.
Actually really nice.
I could do this in the
You do.
basement.
You sleep in a basement.
You sleep in a
Sometimes I do the pod from the basement. Anyhow.
Well, for those of you who hopefully enjoyed that trip down memory lane for the droids, let's get to the
Hey,
news.
write in. Let us know what you played and what chair you were.
And if you have a basement, how do they do
have
that?
a
feeling.
basement.
How do they
I
do
have a
that?
feeling that most write-ins will be first chair, and
Yeah.
Sam will be still lone holdout.
I think our audience are first chair people.
Oh,
They
I
are.
like that.
Yeah.
Hey.
I hope they are. Guys, I want to be off. I want to be off the mic.
Hey, do you know what this podcast is? Do you know what the droids are? They're first chair content for first chair people.
That's right.
Ooh,
There it is.
Put it on the iTunes
That,
description.
you can get that on our T-shirt. I've just been informed the first chair content T-shirts are now sold out from our merch store.
You know
So,
what? All those straggler trumpets and clarinets, you can go listen to Rebel Force Radio. We're a first chair podcast.
Hey,
Please
We're-
don't dox anyone.
please don't talk. Hey, we're a top 50 podcast now, so we gotta be
Yeah, we
careful.
are. I
When
think you said top
searching
30.
Star Wars.
Top 30.
When did we drop off?
Search. I said top 50. I mean, we could say top 1,000 if that's.
Well, as a reminder, if you want to send, let us know what chair you were. droidspod@gmail.com. Of course, Twitter, droidspod. Instagram, droidspod. Facebook, the Droids Podcast. We maybe should try to make this unified on all of them. I think I could change the Facebook one. We haven't tried.
Yeah.
And then, of course, check out on YouTube, droidspod. We won't mention what you can watch there. I mean, there's a playthrough. It's Jedi Fallen Order. Just check it out. Mando Mondays coming up. I think one of the interesting things is the Mandalorian, somehow they kept under wraps last year that Baby Yoda existed, the child, and they didn't make any merchandise for the child until, what was it, 6 months later? Or it was available for pre-order in December and it wasn't available to be delivered until the pandemic began. And
yeah, it was a nice little treat for everyone.
little bump, a little boost to the ego of the everything with Yoda arriving. But they are kind of going the opposite direction now. And every single Monday, and this might be due to the pandemic, from the week before The Mandalorian returns through the season, they will be doing exclusive bounties of all new products, books, comics, video game content, updates inspired by The Mandalorian. And it all awaits as you can check them out throughout. And it goes from all the way up to into December with The Mandalorian. But some of the things you can feature is, of course, Black Series figures of Mando, Cara Dune, including the other Mandalorian trooper, which I think is called the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian. I'm surprised Favreau was cool with that being the name for his character, or I guess it's heavy infantry. IG-11. And then we have more Black Series, followed by some cute more Baby Yodas where they're more animated. And then even the Lego Star Wars Mandalorian, the child, which I know Sam's not a big fan of. I like him.
I like
now,
it.
the Cara Dune figure comes with a protest sign that says no masks, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
it does.
Exactly. The Lego Star Wars, the child, it looks okay. I like it.
It's grotesque.
The eyeballs are like framed with a rectangle, and I can't not see it.
There's something primal that's telling us that it's not okay.
Or it's gonna come to life, and and then
If that thing came to life.
did you mention that Sideshow has a premium figure on there too?
I did not, and I was actually just looking at it myself and wondering if I can click that pre-order button, but it's 630
My
bones.
guy did the same thing several times.
Chris is looking to pre-order anything these days.
I'm ready for it. I love the rush.
If I didn't get in on the PlayStation 5 action, maybe I'd have some money here for this premium Mandalorian figure, but it does look astounding.
It looks phenomenal. Now that's one of their non. There's no points of articulation on that. It's like a statue.
I don't believe so.
It's a statue.
And he's got a nice flowing cape.
They call
Baby
it
Yoda's right next to him in his pram.
Premium.
Do you guys
format.
prefer the when it comes to collectible toys? Do you prefer the statue sort of thing, or do you prefer the points of articulation?
I like
Action figures.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say I like the little bit of rush you get of taking it apart and like posing it, knowing that you could destroy it.
When the knee just won't bend, and you're
exactly.
pushing
And
it
you
too hard.
you look at the picture and you're like, did I bend it too hard? And then for the rest of you owning it, you're like, well, I think I just broke it, so now it'll just I won't touch it anymore.
I want to jump in because I haven't been able to get this out of my head the whole time, which is I just wanted to say like the quilted quicker picker upper Mando.
Worth it.
That's what I thought. Worth it.
Last week was great.
But
last week was great.
I
must
really
have been
feel
first chair chorus, huh?
I've literally never. I did sing in the chorus, and I was featured in the featured ensemble.
You were
So, if I may dissect this a little bit,
I like action
you're
figures.
replacing Bounty with Mando because he's a bounty hunter.
I was doing it because here's the thing: it doesn't work.
Classic misdirection. I liked it.
Bounty was the key word that made me think of their theme, and then I replaced that word with the title of the show because I needed to change something.
Even though Bounty would have worked.
Bounty would have worked, but at that point, like what I should have done was I should have been like I should have rewrote the lyrics to be descriptive of
it's an absurdist
Jin Djarin.
I see. Like, Baby Yoda, he has square eyes, Mando. That kind of thing.
Well, except you should have said Bounty at the end.
And I like that in that song, Ryan, you're specifically referencing the Lego Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm bombing hard, but I'm going to keep going. I like action figures that are articulated over the statues. Usually, I think there's a chance that might be changing, because I've noticed that I have I have a few like premium figures, not the Sideshow ones, but like that type of like, I don't know, 12-inch, like articulated action figure, like G.I. Joe size, like nice action figure doll. And
Mike, can you just put in the cash register noise here?
I don't display them. I don't put them. Now, part of that is like, I don't necessarily have like a dedicated space in my apartment for it, but I wonder if I just had the thing that was like, just the bust of Darth Vader or something, or whatever, like that. I'm like, well, that I'd set on a shelf, and that would be out.
I think it is hard with like the articulated ones, because it's like, you just like leave them up. Is that okay? You don't know what to do with them. What do people?
I also like the 7-inch scale, or like the basically like the 5 to 7-inch scale, right? Like the actual like action figure size toys that I would play with as a kid, because I never liked the big like G.I. Joe dolls.
Yeah,
I'm a little guy,
Chris, thank you for mentioning Sideshow, because now I have 3 different items in my cart as we continue this conversation.
Oh my God, Mike.
Valerie, I'm so sorry.
I really, really need to stop. Well, because look, they're saying low stock on Luke on Octo, and I need to get it before it's gone.
Yeah,
only 8,000 for the life-size Boba Fett.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a life-size Boba Fett, so every time you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you could be terrified.
There's a life-size child figure.
Yeah, there's also...
but that better be cheaper, because he's small.
There's an R2.
He is cheaper.
There's an R2.
It's way cheaper.
There's an R2. There's a life-size Rancor you can get.
How much would it be for me to commission a life-size me?
Probably a good $30,000.
All right, that's some kind of fat joke?
Ryan, that's priceless.
No.
Because of the materials?
Right. Well, I was going to say priceless.
Oh, thank you.
The Han Solo in Carbonite. Why would you want
Well, now
that?
we're just all sitting here and going through
Listeners, how is this content, listeners? Are you enjoying us online shopping?
Hey, they read the Star Wars news like we do. They know what's up.
If you want podcasts every Friday, subscribe.
There it is. That's good.
See?
Oh, that was excellent.
I'm glad I seeded the really good jokes that are coming out now.
What is the difference between legendary scale and life scale? All right.
I
Legendary's
believe
bigger. It's a
legendary
10-foot
scale
Boba
is
Fett.
like 2/3
it's like my.
size.
It's gonna be like my Lego Falcon.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
6 times scale.
Well, so if you're looking for some fun, Mando Mondays, enjoy, find something to keep you going during these tough times while you're watching The Mandalorian. I mean,
I do think this is a cool idea. It gives you that if someone's so inclined and has the expendable income, it gives you that rush every Monday to see
fun.
what's up. Are they going to be revealing what they are on the day?
I believe some of it's being revealed ahead of time. Obviously, we already know some of it from what we were just going through, but there's going to be more that pops up as time goes on.
Polaroid camera looks cool too. I like that.
I thought I was like, why? That's so interesting. They're doing like
they're really hitting
Polaroid.
It's like a nostalgia play. I don't know what else it would be. It is
well,
weird.
and
there's also the Baby Yoda themed fax machine.
I wonder if some of this is going to be revealed though as something from each episode.
Oh yeah, like
some new character. I mean, there's definitely a Polaroid camera in one of the episodes.
Do we think we're
Can't
going to
wait for my Giancarlo Esposito bust.
Will we get an Ahsoka Tano live action?
That'd be cool.
Oh, that would be cool.
Hot toy.
Or like a cameo from Rosario Dawson. I'd like that. It's just like Happy Birthday, Ryan.
All right, let's go and check out Cameo after this and see how much we're going to have to put together.
Yeah, we can do
Chris
that.
has got all the money left over from his PlayStation pre-orders.
we can do that. Yeah.
Well, before we talk about the Razor Crest mini doc, I mean, Sam already kind of got into it a little bit. News from the High Republic, as it's fast approaching in January when we're going to get new Star Wars books to read at all levels of reader ability. That's the way to say that.
Last time I tested, I was at an 8th grade level, but
so you're going to be good for all but the top tier book, Ryan.
All right, the S tier literary book.
So the High Republic released an image of a new lightsaber, and Chris, tell us a little bit about it.
Hey, so if you've ever asked yourself, how often is Kylo Ren nicking the top of his hand on that little handguard part that is made of lightsaber?
The hilt,
if you will.
The crossguard, yeah.
The crossguard thing.
Ask no more. In the High Republic, they debuted a very Excalibur-looking lightsaber, which actually has the handguard in place, which is containing the 2 crossbeams. And then the main beam shoots out towards the top, just like Kylo Ren's. So I think it's a cool... I'm sure this was done probably retroactively, I would think. This probably wasn't in the works ahead of Kylo Ren's lightsaber, do you think?
No, I wouldn't.
Do I think that they were writing this book in 2014? No, I don't.
Well, I didn't know if this was like an idea floating around. I'm sure I could go through one of my Art of Star Wars books and find a sketch of something similar. But it looks pretty cool. It has so the hilt is collapsed, and then when they hit the button, it looks like the 2 arms open up, contain the crossbeam, and then the main beam shoots up. I don't know the order.
That's maybe the coolest thing to me.
Yeah.
Is that it closes and opens. I feel like when that happens, that's going to be awesome to watch.
That's going to be really neat to see.
Well, it's going to be
book?
in static images on a page, so you're seeing it.
I will flip them back and forth very quickly. It is Master Stellan Geo's Jedi Weapon.
I do like from a design perspective. I think it looks cool. They're leaning into the direction of the idea of the High Republic being a more sort of ornamental and filigreed era of design and everything. And it does. I mean, it's sort of a funny and interesting way to almost throw shade. And I don't think they're doing this at all. But it does. It's kind of well, this would be the way to actually design the Kylo Ren lightsaber so that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that the crossbars would block the crossbar from being cut by another lightsaber blade, but would also protect the fighter's hand, So it'll look cool, and it's going to be very King Arthur, right?
Yes. They say Geo's lightsaber is an elegant weapon with a crossguard and a longer hilt that allows him to easily wield it with 2 hands like a broadsword. So I think it has a little more weight. It's a bit of a stouter blade.
It's an elegant weapon from a more civilized age.
I would say that.
For sure.
Is it a match for a blaster? Who's to say?
But they had. I mean, this is all they released. This so people know what we're talking about. You can find it. It's a new image released today. It's from a book that's coming out on October 20th.
Yeah, it's on StarWars.com.
And it's on StarWars.com. You can kind of look through the images of this. What's going to be essentially kind of a concept art book or an encyclopedic. Additional marketing tool for the High Republic books. But it's pretty cool.
I'm excited for this.
It has it shows the holster.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I see
that looks like you'd buy it at a store called the Pleasure Chest.
Is that a pirate themed store? I think I'm excited for these pieces to be at Galaxy's Edge when we can finally go. I feel like they're going to probably introduce some of these elements into the DIY lightsaber collection.
It's a very good point, though. There's a lot of Galaxy's Edge merch that was already going to Target, but now there is more that is going to shopdisney.com, including lightsabers, where you can vote on a new lightsaber to be added. I believe one is from the High Republic, not necessarily this one, though.
This one they've already got the 3D rendering.
Edge, they'll just let us into the warehouse, the Shop Disney warehouse.
It'll just be like a flea market or something.
Well, you do know why they're doing this and releasing them to Shop Disney is because they ordered thousands of these, and now no one's going to the park, and they have to sell them.
Yeah, they have more than they can store, I'm sure.
There's 2 tourists from Nebraska and 5 guys dressed like Kylo Ren, just standing looking at each other at Galaxy's Edge.
Disney Visa card sign up. Click yes. $100 Disney bucks, okay.
But is it wrong that even though I could order these fantastic Galaxy's Edge collectibles and get them now when I desperately want them, including my own Jedi robes,
I think
that I just am like, it's not okay until I actually can go to the park. I have to get them at the park.
You got to get them at the park. It's the memories they're associated with.
Listen, Mike, restraint is important in this world.
Is it right now? I don't know. I think I should just spend everything I got.
Do it. Go for it.
I mean, the sky is on fire.
If I spend it now, or I wait till I go to the park, if I go to the park, I'm going to put it all on one credit card bill, and then it's going to be like,
and then
whoa.
You have to carry it back to the spaceship hotel.
Ooh, well, that sounds cool, though.
Yeah, it sounds kind of neat.
Well, High Republic, October 20th, that is actually when a book called The Lightsaber Compendium is going to be released, where they will have more about all
that
lightsabers.
I'm like really interested in. I'm not usually like into like the encyclopedia books, but I'm very into this.
I was going to say the opposite. For me, I love the cross sections of all the ships and stuff. Like I think it's fun.
I said it, but what I really said is what I was really thinking is that I don't have enough money to buy them. But I would love to have them. So I am into the encyclopedia books, but I might actually invest in this one. Because maybe it'll teach me how to build one.
Yeah. And that's really cool. Maybe you'll crack it. Maybe you'll figure out how to build the actual. Someone's going to write something someday.
Well, Sam, with just a few minutes left to go in this podcast, tell us about the mini doc.
For sure. I mean, there's I guess there's little I would say that I don't think anything about it was necessarily surprising, except that I thought it was really cool that ILM put it together. It's released by ILM. It's on StarWars.com. It's 17 minutes, so it's a pretty short watch, but it's not like nothing. It's like actually some cool content. And they talk to Doug Chang, and he talks about designing the Razor Crest. It's all about the Razor Crest and the specific use of motion control and like actually building a miniature for those handful of establishing shots and space flight shots. And it's the kind of thing that it's like watching the special features on any of the Star Wars collection Blu-rays or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chris, you and I used to do that.
Oh yeah,
like 3 times a year together. And there's something that's just like there's something truly so magical about watching a bunch of people like living out their dreams, getting to like make a thing for real. They all get to like go and like touch it and look at the ship and like see how it'll move. And I feel like we kind of I know, like, I guess Ryan, I know like you were sort of like leading the charge of like, why did they have to do all this? Like they can just as easily do this with CGI, and they made a big deal about like it being practical and how important that was for the show.
That's the important part to I think it's cool that they like made it, because like there are a bunch of craftspeople that have been put out of work because of CGI and stuff, people who build miniatures, and I think that it's cool that they're getting work. The thing that's weird to me is, or that annoys me, is like Jon Favreau celebrating his own visionary by being like, you know what, I decided that like CGI just won't do. And like and then he always talks about it like he invented it.
I mean, I guess I didn't see his. They all talk about like how Favreau basically enabled and encouraged and like spearheaded the process. So maybe the documentary would annoy you in that regard. But there's like more. They don't just spend the whole time talking about him. But like,
that's good.
I don't know. I think like it. Regardless, that to me is like the marketing of it. That's Favreau being a salesman of his show. He knows how that's going to read and how that's going to play with fans. Except the ones who are, as sage-like as Ryan.
I think just anytime you hear the name Doug Chang in Star Wars, it makes my heart a little bit aflutter. I think he is like the next to McQuarrie's designs. Like I think he is the designer of Star Wars. Like I think. I mean, yeah. I get excited now for like his designs and things that he's made in the prequels and things like that. Like I think he has control of that world. So what? Like he's done such a great job. I'm so excited anytime I see he's involved in any aspect. I think he is the main
what's the other guy's name? I'm blanking. He Knoll. John, is it John Knoll?
Oh yeah, Knowles. Yep. Yeah.
So John Knoll and Doug Chang are like the two sort of main talking heads, if you will, of this like 17-minute piece.
Sure.
And their enthusiasm like bleeds through it. Again, I don't know, Ryan, honestly, watching it, I don't know how many people it was like, craftspeople it was bringing back in who like are out of work. I think it's more like a bunch of craftspeople who transitioned into, computer modeling and CGI, who then were excited at the challenge of like, can we actually do this? Like, can we go back and like refigure it out in a way that's like, I don't know, it would be like us, I don't know, doing something with like, can we shoot a movie on VHS entirely?
Well, it's
that weird thing of like, we don't do it this way anymore for a good reason, but also there's like good reason that like spending this much time and focus on like every little decision because it's real has its own benefits. I don't know. I found it very inspiring. It made me want to make movies. It made me want to like make things and art and like enjoy the process of like working hard on something. It was really cool.
There you go. That's what Star Wars
That's great to hear, Sam. I love it.
Sounds cool. I'm going to check it out.
Also of note, one of the images they released, they're shooting it on just like a Canon 7D or something like that, which is kind of funny to think about in Star Wars.
Yeah, it was clearly like an SLR.
So there
they
you
were
go.
using.
All you need is an SLR and a dream.
They shot it in an office room on like 15 feet of track because whenever they shot like some like internal like test, and that was when the big thing for Celebration came up, and like Favreau among many others, like it just very quickly like the people in charge at Disney were like, great, we want to see this, we want to see a shot at Celebration. And so they had like, he said they moved up their timeline by 5 weeks to like shoot this thing on like 15 feet of track in an office. And it was really cool the way they like showed lighting it. Fun. They talked about how they did it for like the in atmosphere flight shots, and I don't know, it made me excited to go rewatch the show.
Wow.
It was interesting hearing that part because I watched a little bit of it, Sam, and hearing them talk about it. I thought Celebration that year was in August, and so I was like, wow, they hadn't done any shots with the Razor Crest like a month and a half before the show started. That's crazy. But then I realized it was April, so okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, Mike, that was great.
No,
Sam's got a lot of contempt today.
First chair, huh, Mike? Wow.
Well, that is pretty much going to do it on this week's edition of The Droids. Anyone else have any historic moments in their lives they'd like to walk down memory lane?
I mean, here's the thing. I've been playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater online a lot, and I got to say that I've been winning a lot. In a world where there's not a lot of wins going on right now.
You went from first chair clarinet to first chair Tony Hawk, and that's okay.
That's right.
Love it.
I've been playing Mario 64.
And you're getting them stars, baby.
There it is.
We're going to start calling Sam the Hollywood Walk of Fame because he's got so many stars.
Hey-o. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of The Droids. There was some news. We got to it. We promise. Yeah. We will get a little bit more focused as Mando arrives. We promise. Thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the show. Send us those first chair emails, droidspot@gmail.com. We will catch you next week on The Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast.
What they Annie?
I'll try not to miss another week, guys. I feel like I was so off. Oh, my God.
Hey, you want to go to medieval times?
Mando!
That was a good one.
Amen. That was good.
No,
I
feel awful. I feel like nothing else vibes right.
Awful.
Oh, my God.
You feel awful.